Hi, and welcome to Cut the Kibble. Today I wanted to talk to you about omega-3 fatty acids and why they are important in your dog's diet and how to choose certain foods to put in your dog's recipe to have a healthy dog. We need to first talk about omega-6 fatty acids in kibble and why that is bad. Too many omega-6s in a dog's diet is going to cause inflammation. It's going to cause chronic disease. It's going to cause itching and arthritis and joint issues. Kibble can have, on average, 20-to-1, the ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s. And some kibbles have 50-to-1. The right ratio for a dog's diet is 4-to-1. 4 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. Now, why is kibble so high in omega-6s? Well, 2 reasons. One, all kibble is high with carbohydrates. And if you listen to my videos, you know they do that because carbs like potatoes and peas and rice and corn, they're all cheap. So the manufacturer is making a lot of money. Plus carbs are needed to bind those little kibbles together. It's like the glue for the kibble. In addition, kibble contains bad oils like soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. All these oils are highly processed and highly inflammatory. Okay, so let's talk about what food to put in your dog's diet that is low omega-6 and high omega-3s, because the omega-3s are anti-inflammatory and they're good for the brain. They're good for the heart, they're good for the skin, and you need that good balance, that 4-to-1 ratio. So let's talk protein. Okay, if you go to the grocery store to get some meat, there's going to be 3 types of meat in your grocery store these days. There's going to be conventional beef, grass-fed, and grass-fed and grass-finished. So what's the difference? Before I go any further, I want to tell you that if you're home cooking, you're steps ahead of those that are doing kibble. And not everybody can afford grass-fed, grass-finished. I use conventional beef. If I see grass-fed on sale for ground beef, I'll get that. But you've seen my videos. I do London broil. That's conventional beef. You do the best you can. Anything is better than kibble. So anyway, let's get back to what is conventional beef. These are from cows that are stuck together, stepping in their own feces, and they are fed grains and corn for their whole life. And by the way, that's GMO feed. Why do the farmers do this? The industrial farmers do this because they get a fatter cow in a shorter amount of time, and that's more money to them. But you're passing on what the cow feeds into your little dog. And we don't want to be feeding our dog corn and grains because it's highly inflammatory. But again, if you're home cooking, you're doing much better than the 50-to-1 ratio of kibble. So then there's grass-fed beef. It'll say on the label grass-fed. And you can get it pretty inexpensive these days at stores if you shop smartly. The cow has been fed grass. It goes out in the field and feeds on grass most of its life. The last 3 months, the cow is fed grains. And why is that? So they could fatten the cow up. Again, more money for the farmer. And the last meat you'll see in your grocery store, if you turn the label over, it'll say 100% grass-fed and grass-finished. What does this mean for the farmer? The farmer has to keep the cow around 14 more months for it to get big because it's not eating any grains. But you're passing that incredible meat to your little dog, and the dog is not getting any inflammatory foods from the grains. A grain-fed cow has a 9-to-1 ratio, omega-6 to omega-3, versus a grass-fed cow has a much lower ratio, 2-to-1, 2 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. And that's what you really want to be feeding your dog to reduce inflammation, because again, you're going to hear it a lot. Inflammation is the precursor to disease. Another way to supplement your dog with omega-3s is by offering salmon. I get frozen, wild-caught Atlantic salmon. And then I only do that once a week because it is a high-fatty fish. You need to be careful of pancreatitis. And you know what I forgot to tell you? That the beef, when you buy your beef, speaking of fat, like ground beef, you don't want to get anything more than 10% fat. I try to go for 7% fat. You're going to get tempted to get that 20% fat, and it's going to be cheaper because it's more fat than beef, but you want to have your dog have low fat. So getting back to the salmon, and then I'm talking sardines. I give Bella sardines in all her foods. It's a small fish and a great source of omega-3s. Plus it contains trace minerals, including iodine. So now let's talk about oils that you must put into a dog's diet. And why are oils so good? Again, if you have an itchy dog, oils are important because it's good for the skin. It's good for the coat of the dog. It's good for brain function. It's good if you have an older dog for cognitive thinking. So you're going to read about different oils that you can give your dog. Here are the 3 oils that I offer Bella. Extra virgin olive oil, MCT3 oil, and fish oil. Let's talk about it for a little bit. Not all fish oil is equal, okay? There's 3 types of fish oil. There's pet grade, human grade, and pharmaceutical grade. You don't want to get the pet grade. It's going to be the cheapest oil in your pet store. It's going to come in a plastic bottle. It's going to stink, and it's going to have a little cap to open it. What's wrong with all that? Well, first of all, pet grade fish oil has not been refined. It has not gotten all the toxins out of it, okay? So that's why it's cheap. The plastic bottle the fish oil is going to leach all the chemicals from the plastic bottle. And just each time you open that cap, you're putting air into the bottle. And air is going to oxidize the oil, and the oil is going to get rancid. Speaking of that, in the kibble, the last process they do when they make the kibble, they spray the kibble with an oil. I don't know what kind of oil it is. You don't know either. But the problem with that is that each time you open the bag, or if you put it into a different container, each time you open the lid, air is getting to the kibble, and it's turning that kibble rancid. That's why after maybe halfway through your bag, your dog he's not wanting to eat that food. The dog sense with the nose is the strongest sense, and they're smelling how the kibble is getting rancid. So anyway, you want to get an oil that has a pump, and it comes in not a plastic bottle. I highly recommend Iceland Pure Salmon Oil. It comes in an aluminum bottle with an epoxy inside so that the oil can't transfer anything from the aluminum, and it has a pump. And if you want to buy it, I would get it on Chewy, because Chewy sells it in 8 ounces. Amazon sells it in 8 ounces, does not sell it in 8 ounces. has it in 33 ounces. And if you want to get that, you need it if you have a big dogs, because fish oil is only going to last 90 days in your refrigerator. So with Bella, she's only 14 pounds, I would buy the 8-ounce bottle. Presently, I'm using the rotating MC3 oil, olive oil, and human grade salmon oil. I'm sharing my salmon oil with her. It comes in a capsule, and twice a week I'll break it open and pour it on the food right before serving. You never ever want to heat up oil because you're killing all the good stuff in it, okay? And when you use fish oil, you want to add a drop of vitamin E to it. Another good way to add some omega-6s, but also good sources for omega-3s, are with seeds. And that's why you always hear me adding Cut the Kibble Omega Booster. And if you look in my newsletter, I have the recipe there. Basically, it's sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, and hemp hearts. I grind all that up in a Vitamix high-powered mixer, and I store it in a glass container in the freezer. Why do I do this? Because they're oils, and oils can go rancid. And I will add 1 teaspoon of that mixture per pound of protein to my recipes. I know this is really confusing, and it's kind of new. It wasn't until 2016 when it was figured out that dogs really do need omega-3s in their diet to fight off inflammation. If you learn 2 things in this video, is that you need to choose low-fat meats, get them on sale when they're grass-fed. You need to have healthy oils in your diet, and you need to have healthy seeds also. If you want to have a consult with me, let me know, because I know this is overwhelming.